Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Sorry, I've been away for a few days, still trying to get this last bit of my book sorted out, and I just needed a bit of a break. So, thank you for your patience. But it also means that there's lots and lots and lots to talk about today because lots of great things have been happening. Harry and Meghan out the house, new Netflix content coming. It has truly been joyful. Thank you, Church Nelly and Palena, all the mod squad, Elaine, you are amazing. Appreciate you all so much. Okay, let's get straight into it. I think some of my give me a sec, folks. Okay, right. Before we get into royal news, actually, let's get into a couple of other things. Taylor Swift. For my American squaddies, Taylor Swift has officially endorsed Kamala Harris and her VP pick, Tim Walz. Now, Taylor, I think, has been somewhat quiet about her politics more recently. And I think that's just partly because she faces so much abuse in so many other ways. But it can be very difficult when you are so prominent. She's the most prominent woman in one of the most prominent women in media. And I think people began to make assumptions about who it is she supports based on her silence. So she came out and posted this on Instagram yesterday. She said, like many of you, I watched the debate tonight. If you haven't already, now is a great time to do your research on issues at hand and the stances these candidates take on the topics that matter to you the most. As a voter, I make sure to watch and read everything I can about the proposed policies and plans for this country. Recently, I was amazed that AI of me falsely endorsing Donald Trump's presidential run was posted on his site. It really conjured up my fears around AI and the dangers of spreading misinformation. It brought me to the conclusion that I need to be very transparent about my actual plans for this election as a voter. The simplest way to combat misinformation is with the truth. I will be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the 2024 presidential election. I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she fights for the rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them. I think she is a steady-handed, gifted leader, and I believe we can accomplish so much more in this country if we are led by calm and not chaos. I was so heartened and impressed by her selection of running mate Tim Walz, who has been standing up for LGBTQ rights, IVF, and a woman's right to her own body for decades. I've done my research and I've made my choice. Your research is all yours to do, and the choice is yours to make. I also want to say, especially to first-time voters, remember that in order to vote, you have to be registered. I also find it easier to vote early. I'll link where to register and find early voting dates in my story. With love and hope, Taylor Swift, childless cat lady. And there she is with her lovely cat. Shout out to all the childless cat ladies. Shout out to just all the ladies in general. Whether you have a child, whether you have a cat, whether you're married, whether you're single, there is just such a horrendous attack on women's autonomy, bodily autonomy, life autonomy in every corner of the globe right now. It has been absolutely gut-wrenching to see some of the headlines that have been coming out. And so much of it comes down to this, the way in which Taylor signed off her Instagram caption here. Childless cat lady, owning something that has continuously been used against her and many other women. This idea that you are lesser than if you're not married, if you don't have kids, and then all of the attacks that we're seeing against reproductive rights and our autonomy as women. Just in the last few weeks, when I've been scrolling down my Twitter feed, I'm seeing stories of women being burnt alive by their jealous exes because they're successful Olympians. I'm seeing a horrible story unfolding over in France, a court case, because a woman was drugged for over a decade. and assaulted in her own home by men who her husband brought to her house. The Southport stabbings, the crossbow incident we had a couple of weeks ago in the UK, another jealous man killing a woman because she no longer wanted to be with him. And so to see the likes of Trump, of his VP pick, saying what they're saying about women, they fear any woman who goes against the grain. But to be honest, they just hate women in general. So I was happy to see this from Taylor Swift. I was actually quite surprised. And you know, she knows she's gonna get a lot of flack for this, but I think it needed to be said. So round of applause to Taylor Swift. Right, next thing. Back to our rules. Camilla and Charles are going to be visiting Australia and Samoa. Now, the Australian tour was very much up in the air for a while. Yeah, for a moment there, it actually looked like it was going to be cancelled. I actually thought it wasn't going ahead at all. But it seems it is. And again, I don't think Harry and Meghan are in competition with anyone. I think they're very much not even running their own race. They're just minding their own business. But I can't help but feel now the other side feels a sense of pressure because Harry and Meghan's independent tours just did so well because they were just so popular and they were so well received. But the thing is, both Camilla and Charles are much elderly now. The Kenyan tour that Camilla and Charles went on, Camilla looked like she was hating every second of it. I mean, there was one part of the tour where she just sat in the car. These tours are very heavy mentally, physically, especially if you're going to a much hotter country, and especially if you are older. Not to mention the flight all the way across the planet. I mean, even if you're flying private, going that far, that is a long flight. And then 18, 19, 20, I mean, that's a whole week plus of the tour. And then you've got Kate and William, who just can't keep it together when they're on tour. Their palace people don't know what it means to have a bit of self-awareness. The entire Caribbean tour was tone deaf. So you've got the king and queen, who clearly don't like touring at all. And then you've got Kate and William, who are meant to be the future of the monarchy, who can't be relatable or authentic in any way. Nobody gives a damn about Edwina and Ford Fiesta. So it's gonna be interesting to see what Charles and Camilla get up to. I will be watching for the first time ever. I'm actually watching the royal tours because given how disastrous Kate and Williams was, you just can't look away at this point. And given how uneventful the Kenyan tour was, Charles and Camilla's last tour, I will most definitely be watching this. Right, let me go to your comments before we move on. Thanks so much to Elaine Parker for the super sticker. Much appreciated. Rahini said, did you see Auntie Kamala wipe the floor with Trumpy? I've only been seeing little clips and pieces. People talking about aliens, and there was something weird about dogs was trending. I mean, he was definitely all over the place. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I've seen like little snippets. And Trump really did look like he was just completely lost. I'm actually very hopeful now. I have to say, I think what's actually done it is Trump's VP pick of the disaster, because you're even seeing conservative women going, hang on a minute. Well, you know, we're child free. it doesn't take away from our conservative values. But at the end of the day, you've picked a side where they feel like your entire womanhood is centered around whether or not, you have children or you're married. But even they're pissed off now. I think I saw Meghan McCain even tweeting, I've been begging my conservative friends to not say stuff like that. Well, they are saying stuff like that because those are their values. So I think Trump's VP pick has been absolutely disastrous. Trump himself has also been quite disastrous. He doesn't have that vigor that he had when he first ran for president. And I think he's looking just very weak right now. We had a whole, I say this in inverted commas, assassination attempt. And it's almost as if nobody even cared. I mean, a whole candidate for American president got assassinated, and it's like everybody just went meh. Moving on. So I'm actually very, very hopeful now that Kamala will win, because I think that the Trump steam train is definitely lost a lot of steam, and Kamala has been a lot stronger in her campaigning than I think they thought that she would. Okay, so that's that. Next thing, on to people that we like and that are trying to do good in the world. Harry, the Diana Award posted this. Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, to join the Diana Award at the Concordia Annual Summit in New York. This September, the Diana Award will be joined by Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, as the charity takes center stage at the Concordia Summit. CBE and CEO Tess Yojo will chair the discussion with the Duke and two young people who hold the Legacy Award in memory of Princess Diana of Wales. Now, I don't actually know, and I'm still trying to check this, if you can watch this, because I went to the Concordia Summit site, and it was like, I think you had to pay even for a press pass, and then it was like membership or something like that. So I'm trying to figure this out, or if anybody has the answer, if we can actually watch this live ourselves. Because from my initial research, it seemed like you had to buy some kind of pass. But there'll be plenty of other things that Harry is doing while he's in New York, so plenty of things to see. Also, Polo from Archwell Productions is coming to Netflix in December, season 1. So it's going to be multiple seasons. Yay! There were so many of the hater channels that were reporting that this got cancelled. And those videos, mind you, have tens of thousands of views. The way in which these hater channels are just allowed to lie. And that lie got heard tens of thousands of times. And here it is. Yes, traditionally, Nacho. You're gonna get to see so much of Nacho. I mean, this is going to be more about the other polo players, than it is even about Harry or Meghan. And this is great for them, that they're actually getting to engage in things that they also just enjoy. I don't think that everything that Harry and Meghan has to do has to be about philanthropy. They're allowed to do things that they just enjoy as well, and sharing their passions. And just give me a sec, folks, because I think somebody was knocking on the door. One sec. All right, sorry, folks, I'm back. So yes, we have a polo documentary. I know absolutely nothing about polo, but this will be our chance to learn. And we have seen Harry and Meghan go to several polo tournaments, always looking very stylish. And I guess we'll get to see some behind the scenes from all of those times that we have seen them out and about. And I'm loving that it looks like there's going to be multiple seasons. Right, next thing, another win for Harry. The Heritage Foundation, the bunch of banks who are pushing Project 2025 in the US, they were going after Harry and his visa application and all this nonsense. I mean, it was just plain bullying. The fact that an organization like this is able to go after a private citizen, to me, it's just disgusting. None of this was in the public interest. So the conservative think tank that had filed a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit against the US Department of Homeland Security demanding the publication of the Duke's visa documents, the Heritage Foundation lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security that he, because Harry had mentioned in his memoir Spared that he took drugs in the past, the lawsuit argued the rules of narcotics should have barred him from living and working in America. So that's now been terminated, and rightly so, because it was just truly ridiculous. And I do believe that there was someone behind this funding this. Either that or the Heritage Foundation is using the money, other donor money, to do this. A charity or think tank rather that claims to be about heritage and preserving heritage. Ridiculous. Anyway, I don't know if Harry would be able to sue them, because I know that in some states there are laws that prevent people from, bringing frivolous court cases just to antagonize people or like wasting court time. So I don't know if that's something that, Harry would be able to do. Granted, if Kamala Harris does win, the Heritage Foundation has been caught up in other controversies as well. So I think maybe karma will take its course and we'll find out a lot of things about the Heritage Foundation sooner or later. So maybe Harry doesn't have to waste his time or energy. But if there is room or scope for that, I think it would be great if it did, because I mean, this whole thing has just been ridiculous. Right. Over to some more positive news. Meghan was seen at a newly opened bookstore for their opening event. Oprah was there and other community members were there. What I'm loving about all of the pictures that we've been seeing the last couple of days is it's just so obvious that Harry and Meghan really have a community of love, a community of joy, and that they're just, getting on with life and forming community and connections with their neighbors. And this is what the tabloid press are so vexed that they don't have access to. Well, you don't need access to this. They can get on with their lives and show us what they want in public when they want. Now, this was the first event, and then Oprah was here as well, and they had some other speakers, and then Meghan went back with Harry, and they were photographed again. So the place is called Godmother's, beautiful building, and here is Harry and Meghan with, yes, was with Jennifer Rudolph Walsh, Harry's literary agent and head of literature at the WME agency, which Harry and Meghan are signed to, and Victoria Jackson at the opening of their bookstore, Godmother's, in Summerland, California. And Prince Harry apparently helped to name the space. So, how did this come about? Since its inception, Godmother's has been sprinkled with that Montecito magic. The idea for the name started with Harry at his Beverly Hills book party. He thanked Winfrey, Jackson, and Rudolph Walsh for their support, calling the trio his fairy godmothers. When plans for the bookstore took shape, Winfrey told the shopkeepers, "There's really only one thing you can name it, Godmothers." Now, the Duke's memoir features prominently on the store's Our Local Authors display, another standard bookstore feature that gets a glow up here. Meghan's children's book, The Bench, is part of the assortment, along with titles from Winfrey, Ellen DeGeneres, who was also there at this event, Rob Lowe, Cameron Diaz, and more. By the way, Meghan, Harry, Cameron Diaz, and her partner were actually seen at dinner once. So they're out and about, with their community, being peaceful and happy. In the bottom black and white picture that you can see here, that's actually Portia, Ellen DeGeneres' partner, wife, and that's actually Ellen's hand, just about to hug Harry, just across from them. And it's great to see just pictures of their friends, their associates. For so long, the tabloids have tried to paint this narrative, that they're being shunned, that nobody in Montecito likes them, all of this rubbish and nonsense. And y'all, can we just take a moment to appreciate? Meghan is glowing. Tanned, hydrated, moisturized. I need to know what her skincare routine is. With daytime diamonds, by the way. FYI, it is generally protocol in England that you do not wear diamonds before 6. And here she is, glistening with her daytime diamonds. Wow. And we love to see it. I love this outfit. Just minimalist, simple, stylish, with a touch of diamonds. Like, dang. Thank you so much to Ziggy Lee. He said, I let the deranged know that not one Sussex squaddy would team with one of them under any circumstances. The power of the Sussex squad is prayer. Indeed. I mean, why would we team with the losing side? Ain't no need. Thank you so much, Ziggy. By the way, if you are a member on YouTube, or you have ever donated through Buy Me a Coffee, I have an exclusive for you concerning my book coming very, very soon. So please look out for that. You're going to get to see something before everybody else does. Wendy said, the Heritage Foundation backed off. They are under fire for their involvement with Project 25. Now they're ducking and hiding. Who needs defense now? Oh yeah, karma's going to come for them too. It's going to come for all of them. 2025. If 2024 was the year of, the unveiling, the exposing, 2025 is the year that the hammer's going to come down on everyone who's been unveiled and exposed. Yeah, Church Nelly, I thought Oprah had snubbed Meghan. I thought that the Polo and Netflix documentary was being cancelled. Yes, Marianne, secret weapon. Prayer indeed. Prayer, kindness, community service, living with joy, not being vexed about, people who are living their best life. Doesn't matter how much the deranged want to hate on Harry and Meghan. And they do themselves a favor by just focusing on themselves or trying to be positive. Then maybe they can look like this. Gorgeous and glowing. And not bitter and pruned. All right. Next thing. Deep breath. Okay, so yeah, the Kate video. Yeah, I saw it. What's so interesting is the mixed reaction from this. Because both the press and the public seem to be showing mixed opinions. And I do think part of it is because of the way that the palace has handled this, and part of the pro-royal press has handled this. Now, there was that article that came out, I think it was in the Telegraph not too long ago, where one of the Palace mouthpiece writers said that she was just very tone deaf, where she said she kind of put Kate on a pedestal because she was brave enough to come to trooping, unlike, this is the phrase that she used, unlike other mere mortals. She referred to other people going through cancer as mere mortals. And I think that peeved a lot of people off. Also, keep in mind that right now, the NHS is in complete and utter disarray. I mean, it takes something like, 60 days on the NHS currently just to get a referral if you're suspected of getting cancer? I mean, it shouldn't be 60 days. That should be dealt with the very next day. And here you have someone who has the best doctors, the best private healthcare that the country has to offer. They could even fly in doctors from other places or fly her out if they wanted to. Basically doing a Head and Shoulders Herbal Essence, ad for her long flowing hair, while the average Jane and Jack is struggling. And barely any mention of people who are going through this, doctors and nurses, really just made it about herself and William. And I think what's happening is they're trying to be more relatable. They're trying to be more authentic. But the thing about being relatable and authentic is that it has to come from a place of being genuine. And also, you have to have been consistent with it. I can believe that Harry and Meghan are genuine people because Harry, from the time he was 19, has been consistently trying to do good projects. Meghan, from the time she was, like a kid, 8, 9, has been consistently using her voice. You can't just suddenly decide, I'm going to switch up and try to be more relatable when you've never been relatable. You've never done anything relatable. You've never done anything really for the people. You've only ever been about upholding this fairy tale, this mirage. And that's what it's always meant to be, royal. So this new style of Kate and William is not working, even at a time, when Kate is going through sickness. And there was someone in the Guardian who wrote something, who made a really good point, actually. I don't think I have it on my slides, but this video montage that was shot, I mean, it's so sleek. Yes, Dr. Tom posted about it on Twitter. So this was, I believe this was from a Guardian article. Sorry, I don't have it for the screen. But it says, and so Kate's video shot by a man who has also shot campaigns for Uber Eats and who made Tesco's Food Love Stories commercials. Something else is being served up here, which for some reason he has decided to make look like a Centre Parks ad, despite artfully including clips of Prince George asking of a camera, is this filming? The video was not captured by a GoPro or a picnic rug, but by a crew and significant post-production operation who made studied use of filters and slow motion, switching from sweeping shots to grainy scenes designed to look like a film, unlike the private home videos in the opening of titles of Succession. And Dr. Jessica Taylor, who's absolutely amazing, by the way, you should follow her. She does amazing work for women and girls, particularly women and girls who have gone through sexual assault. She posted this. She said, "Hello, this is your reminder that literally everything the royal family do is about PR. They are not neutral. Marketing, misleading the public, and controlling narratives around themselves are absolutely central to their identity and success. If something feels like an advert, that's because it's an advert. If something feels off, that's because it's off. If something feels like it's the cover-up, that's because it's a cover-up. If something feels like a distraction, that's because it's a distraction. Stop looking at our monarchy as if it's this little old special family who just so happen to be born into royalty, and start seeing them for what they are. This exactly. Amber Lynn saying, I suspect, and hear me out on this, William and Kate are being advised to be more personable and relatable, and probably want to be seen as this way as well. But there's a difference in being seen as something and actually being it. I think that this video will do attempts. The thing about authenticity, though, is that you're either authentic or you're not. Some people, no matter how hard they try, are never going to be able to be authentic publicly because authenticity requires vulnerability. Some people just don't have it in them. And vulnerability doesn't look like showing up to trooping the best you've ever looked, having gone through an illness. It doesn't look like showing up to Wimbledon absolutely glowing under the hot sun to give out golden trophies. It doesn't look like that. Nobody who's gone through cancer looks like that. Not even a visit to cancer victims, not even a Zoom call to cancer victims, nothing. And we know for sure that they're not going to say anything about lack of care in our NHS at the moment. Henry VIII saying, I'm honestly a bit surprised at how mixed some of the responses are under the mainstream press tweets. And I'm even more surprised that Rota are pointing out that they are receiving mixed messages from the palace. I'm not actually surprised at this. And what she's referring to is something that Chris Ship posted. Where is it now? Chris Ship and Richard Palmer. I'm not surprised at this because the Royal Rota rats know the full extent of what is going on behind the scenes. And they are begging. They are desperate to talk about it in full. They can't because they fear legal repercussions. But they know that talking about the truth of what's going on behind the scenes in the palace is a lot more lucrative than playing along with the propaganda game. They know this at this point. They don't have access to Harry and Meghan, so they're not making the money that they want there. What is going to make them more money is by spilling the tea. The real royal tea. They can't do that. Not now, at least. So this is what Chris Ship posted. He said, let me read what Richard Palmer posted first. He said, a mixed message and some confusing headlines tonight. On one hand, Kate says, doing what I can to stay cancer-free is now my focus. Yet at the same time, we've been told, who's the we here, by the way? Think about who the we is. The we is them, the press. We've been told it is incorrect to describe her as cancer-free or in remission. And then Chris Ship, Mr. I won't speak about Harry and Meghan after Wednesday, about 600 Wednesdays ago, says, I think what Princess of Wales meant is that she is doing what she can to become and then stay cancer-free. As her office confirms, she is currently not classed as cancer-free or in remission. What is it then, guys? What are they telling you? What is being communicated here? Yeah. Listen, I'm glad the lady's okay, but like Jessica said, if something feels off, it's because it's off. If something feels like it's a cover-up, it's because it's a cover-up. If something feels like a distraction, that's because it's a distraction. And all of this, you know, her Blessings Head and Shoulders ad, the Queen would have never, as this person who wrote this article, Melanie McDowell, said. Even Charles really isn't saying anything about his sickness at all. Melanie here saying, all one can say, really, is that the late Queen would have died early rather than subject herself to this extraordinary display of trite sentiment. Out of darkness can come light, so let that light shine bright. Or at any rate, she would express her feelings of gratitude soberly In the light of her Christian faith, Kate is the stuff of every contemporary self-help book to do with living in the moment and being grateful for the small stuff. And see, this is the thing. This whole ad is not in line with how the royals would traditionally do things. And so it's not in line with traditional monarchists. But Kate and William are trying to court a more progressive, youthful audience. And this is the issue that Harry and Meghan don't have, because they're not trying to play to several different audiences. They know who the audience is. And they couldn't care less if there's, one particular audience, I think the more traditional monarchists, who don't like their direction, because they're very clear in the direction that they're heading in. And this is the trouble that the other royals have. You cannot be everything to everyone, but now they're trying to be, because they failed to evolve. Dear oh dear. Harry and Meghan are the blueprint, for real. And William, William in this whole promo just looked like he didn't want to be there. He absolutely looked like he did not want to be there. Okay, let me go through your comments. Denise, she said, for British squaddies, look up Summer Eve's 1991 commercial and then go look at Kate's commercial. Okay, I will do that. Sean Jones just said the only thing missing from that video was a flock of CGI birds alighting on top of Kate's head tied ribbons. It would have been a nice touch. Maybe some squirrels running around as well. Tony, you said, in my opinion, rather than doing this video, it would have worked better if she taught on her own, telling the public how she's feeling. The video is a bit too much. Yeah, it just feels like, why are we having a whole post? It looks like an ad, like an ad for something. Like they're pushing something, they're pushing a message, they're pushing an image. She could have just sat on a bench again and said, guys, I'm okay. Because all of this that you're seeing in this ad, and the fact that they've actually hired someone who does commercial ads, they've paid for this. This has cost money. This is taxpayers' money. And I just think this type of propaganda, it just doesn't work anymore. I think you're right, Tony. She could have just released another video where she's just sitting down, thank you so much for your well wishes, I'm fine. Now can we turn our attention to the NHS? Thank you very much. Tomato, you said, I think the public wants Kate to be well, but she's pushing it a bit too far for many people. She needs to bring back the girl from the small home town with her original accent and lay off the snobbery. I don't think she ever really was the girl from the small hometown. I think she was the girl who was being pushed by her mother to get into certain circles, to bring the whole family into that circle. I don't even think Kate really knows who she is. But I do think you're right, Fatimata, in what you've said, that I think the general public wants Kate to be well, of course. But you just have it in the back of your mind that this is an incredibly privileged person. And you know full well that the average person going through this is not waltzing around looking like, with designer clothes and hair blowing in the wind, looking as glamorous as this. This is not what cancer looks like. This is not what struggling with an illness looks like. I'm not saying that Kate should have to come out looking at, her worst. Nobody, even the average person, wouldn't want to do that. But it's just about bringing yourself down to a human level and presenting yourself and speaking in a way that the average person could relate to. There's nothing relatable about this if it is that they're trying to be authentic. All right, folks. I think I will wrap things up there. We're going on almost 40 minutes. Thank you to Ziggy Crown, another donation. Thank you so much. Catherine has made her own threats to fully disclose raw info. I'm thinking, I've never seen him hold her hands so tightly. Yeah, I mean that's a whole nother thing about this. I don't get me wrong. I do genuinely think that Kate was ill. But I think the illness mixed with other things going on in the background is what contributed to this strange rollout of this whole thing from the very beginning. And I do think other things have been going on in the background concerning their marriage, concerning the families, Middletons. And for a long time, we were asking the question, hang on a minute, if Kate's parents are in debt, why isn't the monarchy bailing them out? And it seemed for a moment like they were being pushed to the side, only for them to be right back into the Aristo fold. You saw them at Ascot, you saw them looking very friendly, made sure to take pictures with William looking very friendly. So something has definitely gone on. What has gone on, I think we'll find out in years to come. But all is not as it has seemed. And at the end of the day, this is an institution that we are paying tens of millions of pounds for. We deserve truth and transparency. What was it? One of the Royal Rotarats said, we pay, you pose. So why was that only applicable to Meghan? Keep the same energy for everyone. We pay, you tell us the truth. And you leave Harry and Meghan alone because they're minding their business. Okay, I will end with your comments and then we'll wrap things up. Yes, Dana, where are the discussions about breaking protocol now? That is a good question. Very silent. Where are the asparagus readers? Yeah, does this video not break protocol? Hey, Rachel. Hope you're well too. Also, I hope Dorothy Ross is okay. Has anybody heard from Dorothy Ross? I haven't seen her messages. Dorothy Ross, if you're listening, please do drop us a message. Tell us how you're doing. Cinderella, you said missing from the video were talking mice and a pumpkin. You were also missing from the video, Cinderella. Where were you? You were meant to bring in the talking mice and the pumpkins. And Louis, you said, when you are innovative, what you do is authentic and your vision sees the end result. But if someone copies you, your innovation, they cannot complete a genius result would be fragmented with failure. Yeah. What's your own is your own. It can't be replicated, especially if it's truly authentic. All right. I think I'm going to end that there, folks. Thank you I've got one more. Oh, I saw an observation from Joan Lawman. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Much, much, much appreciated. Thank you everyone for joining and being patient with me. Book is almost there. It's almost there. Once it's done, I can be a lot more focused and go back to a more steady podcast time. It's very, very difficult to write and keep an eye on what's going on with the other royal news as well. So thank you all for being so patient with me. And hit that thumbs up button on your way out. Hit that subscribe button on your way out. It'll be great. I'll be so happy if we could get to 40,000 subscribers before my birthday in November. That'll be fantastic. And yeah, if you want to donate, links in the bio as always. And I will see you tomorrow, folks. Ciao.